Okay, so this is Mr. Farrow. This is week 23, daily lesson number 1, lesson video for lesson 3, comparing positive and negative numbers. So make sure you have your notes ready to take them, please. And I'm missing my stylus. There it is, behind my computer. There we go. All right, so the focus of this lesson is let's compare numbers on the number line. Remember, we're working with positive and negative numbers. Here's your vocabulary, and don't forget to take and sorry about that. Don't forget to put your name, date, and period up there. Make sure you put in this information in the guided notes. Here's your vocabulary for this lesson: sign, inequality, and opposite. Sign is the sign of any number that is other than 0 is either positive or negative. Inequality, the definition is an inequality compares two values, showing if one is less than, greater than, or simply not equal to another value. And the opposite, two numbers are opposites if they are the same distance from 0 and on different sides of the number line. So please stop the video here and make sure you write these down in your notes. You'll need them for your guided notes assignment. Okay, let's continue. We're going to be reviewing high places and low places here, because when we're beginning to talk about positive and negative numbers, it sometimes really helps us to think about elevation. Elevation is the distance from some point, as for example, here we're talking about sea level. Above sea level would be the sky, of course, and below sea level would be the water. And so we're talking about elevation. Now, this is a drawing of a cross-section of some shoals off the coast of Oregon, down by Cannon Beach. Shoals are those big rock formations just right off a shore. I think we've all seen it in this part of the country. And so, for the example, this one right here is 20 meters above sea level. And then there's a shoal that's down underneath sea level, negative 7 meters. That indicates it's below sea level. And then we have one here 8 meters above sea level, another one that's 8 meters below sea level, one that's just right at the sea level, so we call that 0, and then negative 10 and negative 9. So we use number lines to represent elevation. So here I have a number line, and I encourage you to draw one of these in your notes. And I always like to put 0 there towards the middle of my number line, depending upon what I'm doing. And so we have here, so this would be like, I'll go 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. And then on the other side of 0, I go negative 5. And notice I use the same scale, if you will, or numbering system on both sides of 0 to make it make more sense. And then I could take and change colors here and go 20 meters. Here's one shoal here. There's another one right here at negative 7. There's another one here at 8. There's one here at negative 8. And another one at 0. None at negative 10. And negative 9, which I'll put right in there too. So that's how we use a number line to represent different types of elevation, as well as temperature too. So what are we talking about here? Well, this line right here, what we're talking about is negative numbers. You'll find negative numbers to the left of 0. Negative numbers go to the left. And positive numbers are to the right of 0. So such like positive elevation, we had these shoals that we're talking about. So that's how you keep it straight. Your negative numbers and your positive numbers are on either side of 0. In this case, sea level for elevation. So here we go. Now let's be more specific about ordering integers on a number line. Now, I'm using integers, which are whole numbers, both positive and negative, and 0. But it's also same thing can be ordered. Same thing in terms of ordering any type of sign number, fractions, decimals, count, integers on either side. Those are all considered what we call rational numbers. So here we have mark the integers on the number line and order them from greatest to least. And here are my numbers right here. So I'm just demonstrating here how you can draw your own number line. There's 0 again. And then you can put your tick marks in there, kind of tell you, again, how far you want to go out. And so it looks something like this. So here I have -8, 10, 3, and -1. So I want to go from greatest to least. So 10 would be my greatest. Then 3, -1, and -8. Now, and as we continue this discussion on assigned numbers, notice that as numbers get on the left side, in negative numbers, as they get farther away from zero, they are less than the number in front of it, to the right of it. So like -1 is greater than -8. And you may say, well, why is that the case? That's because -8, we're getting farther away from zero, the smaller the amount is. Whereas over here on this side, on the positive side, the farther away we get from zero, it goes up. So that remains to be true. So that way, then if we're going to the left, 10 is greater than 9, which is greater than 8, which is greater than 2, which is greater than -2. So just keep that in mind as we talk about positive and negative numbers. Okay, here we have another one. Again, draw your own number line here. Get in the habit of doing these things. Get a ruler or a straight edge to help you. But now I'm going to plot these points on a number line. 9, -6, 0, -10. Again, greatest to least. So the greatest one would be 9. And you got to pay attention to how they ask them. Sometimes they say least to greatest. Sometimes they say greatest to least. You have to be careful. And I just look at my number line, and I'm very quickly able to organize those from greatest to least, or if they wanted least to greatest, I could do that also. So the big takeaways here, getting comfortable drawing number lines and using number lines to help you assign numbers. Okay, here we have this one. Inequalities. Now, we're going to start talking about inequalities here and number lines. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to plot these numbers on your number line. Well, now you notice they don't give me all the numbers because I don't need them. I can count out where I am. -2, well, that'd be right here. 4, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. -7, well, this is -2, it's -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, right there. And 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. They've been plotted. Decide whether each inequality statement is true or false. Now remember, inequality says we're comparing two numbers and we're deciding which is greater, which is smaller. And we use this is less than. Oops, sorry about that. Greater than. And the bracket, the inequality symbol always opens up to the bigger number. So the bigger number would be here, and the bigger number would be here. So let's compare these. -2 is less than 4. Well, -2, so that means that -2 needs to be to the left of 4 because numbers to the left of 4 are less than 4 are getting smaller. And that is true. -2 is less than -7. Well, now the same thing what I just said. Numbers have to be, if it's less than, that means that the bracket opens to the bigger number. That's not true because -2 is greater than -7. So that one's false. 4 is greater than -7. That is true. 4 is greater than -7 because 4 is to the right of 7. -7 is greater than 10. That's not true because that would mean that 10 would be to the right of -7 would be to the right of 10, and it's not. So this one is false. So this is how we look at inequalities. And pay attention to the less than and the greater than. That'll help you there too. I'm going to put these in black so that'll make it a little easier to read. There we go. Okay, so that's all I have for this lesson. So this should be enough to help you get through the guided notes. And once again, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.